Let me be clear. I love my son, John, but the boy is an idiot. A brilliant, decorated, retired space major with more credits than sense, but still an idiot. Which is precisely why I arranged the blind date. He stood in my living room, looking like he was 25 again and about to argue military regulations. "You can't just send me on a blind date," he said. I sipped my drink. "I absolutely can. I survived 3 wars, 2 mutinies, and your teenage years. This is easy." He groaned. "You don't even know who she is." Oh, I knew. I knew more than I was letting on. John arrived at the restaurant early, nervous, overdressed. He'd polished his boots like he was reporting for an inspection. Then Lyra walked in. She was alien, tall, and graceful, with subtle bioluminescent markings along her cheekbones and a royal posture she tried to hide under civilian clothes. And beside her, a child, a little girl named Naomi, who stared at John like she was evaluating a faulty piece of machinery. "Is he safe?" she asked her mother. John completely panicked. From my observation point across the street, I laughed. Lyra, smart woman, didn't tell John she was royalty. She said she was between positions, which was technically true if between positions meant being exiled by a hostile coup. The date was awkward. John talked too much. Naomi talked too little. Lyra just watched everything. When John accidentally knocked over a glowing drink, Naomi muttered, "He's clumsy." Lyra smiled, but kind. That's when I knew I approved. On the way home, pirates attacked their transport line. John didn't hesitate for a second. Retired or not, he moved like a soldier. He shielded Lyra, grabbed Naomi, and took down 2 attackers with a chair and some very bad language. I saw the way Naomi looked at him after that. It was different. This wasn't just a date. This was destiny, and I was definitely getting grandchildren. Children know things adults pretend not to notice. Naomi decided John needed testing. Literally. During breakfast, she grilled him like she was conducting a security clearance interview. "Why did you leave the military? Do you panic under pressure? Do you lie to people you care about?" John answered honestly. Too honestly. He even apologized to the counter after spilling coffee on it. Naomi finally delivered her verdict. "You're inefficient." John just nodded. "Yes." She paused, then added, "But you're consistent." For Naomi, that was high praise. I liked the kid immediately. Lyra's past, of course, came knocking. With lasers, the attack came at night. Precision drones, Elion Royal Tech. John reacted before anyone even screamed, moving Naomi behind cover, grabbing Lyra's hand, barking orders like he'd never retired. I arrived a few minutes later. Old reflexes die hard, and took out a drone with a rifle. I absolutely wasn't supposed to have. Afterward, Lyra stared at us. "You're soldiers," she said quietly. "Decorated," I corrected. John frowned at her. "You're royalty." And so, the truth came out. Princess Lyra of Elion, displaced after a coup. Naomi, the heir by blood, hunted. John sat silently through the whole story. Then he just said, "Okay." Lyra blinked. "Okay?" "I've protected civilians before," he said. "Royalty's just civilians with better posture." I leaned back and smiled. That's the moment she fell for him, even if she wouldn't admit it yet. Naturally, John accused me of knowing all along, which I did. "You used me," he said. "I trusted you," I corrected. And I was right. Lyra looked at me. You planned this? Yes, I replied proudly. You needed protection. My son needed purpose. And Naomi needed a father figure who wouldn't flinch. The next attack was worse. John and I fought back to back. Lyra shielded Naomi with controlled energy fields. Naomi didn't cry. She trusted us. That night, she sat beside John. You stayed, she said. He smiled tiredly. That's what family does. I cleared my throat. So, when do I start building cribs? He threw a pillow at me. Men become fathers the moment they choose to stand between danger and a child who I ascend to theirs. One night, Naomi woke from a nightmare, screaming in her native Elian dialect. Lyra rushed in, but John was a second behind her, barefoot and already scanning the corners of the room. Naomi didn't clutch her mother. She clutched him. John froze, then just sat on the bed and pulled her close. He said nothing. He was just present. I watched from the hall and decided, yep, that's my granddaughter now. Biology can argue with me later. Then, Elian loyalists found us, not attackers' envoys. They offered Lyra her throne back. One condition: Naomi would be raised by the state and John would disappear. Permanently. Lyra didn't hesitate. No, she looked at John and Naomi curled up on the couch. I already chose my future. Then came another twist. Naomi's biological father wasn't royal. He was human. A special ops soldier who died saving Lyra during the coup. So, she's half human, John said, staring at the file. Naomi looked up at him. Does that change anything? He shook his head immediately. Nope. Just makes you louder and more stubborn. Welcome to the family. That's when Lyra cried. The enemy didn't care about our little family drama. They came with ships. I cracked my knuckles. Guess I'm unretiring. John and I suited up and fought side by side. Lyra coordinated shields while Naomi ran coms like a pro. We won, decisively. After the smoke cleared, Naomi walked right up to John. Can I call you Dad? He just broke. Knelt, hugged her, and whispered, If you want to. I had to turn away. Warriors aren't supposed to cry, and I'm a very old warrior. The adoption paperwork was a nightmare of interspecies tribunals and angry diplomats. They asked John endless questions, but in the end, they asked Naomi, Do you want this? She looked at John, then Lyra, then me. Yes, she said. He stays, that's all. Approved. I smiled like a man who'd just won a war. Love doesn't arrive with fireworks. It shows up when the fighting stops. That night, John and Lyra sat together, Naomi asleep between them. I never planned this life, Lyra said. John shrugged. I never planned retirement. She laughed and leaned into him. No dramatic kiss. Just two people finally choosing each other when it felt safe. Of course, there was one more attack. Elian extremists targeted Naomi. Bad move. They underestimated two O'Neills and a princess who had stopped pretending she was harmless. John took a hit meant for Naomi. I returned fire with extreme prejudice. We ended it in 12 minutes. The galaxy learned an important lesson. You don't mess with our family. Recovery took weeks. John woke one night and whispered, We're safe, right? I nodded. As safe as anyone married into this family. He smiled. Eventually, they moved into a house with reinforced walls and terrible furniture. Naomi hung drawings on the fridge. John learned to pack lunches. Lyra learned to relax. Then, one morning, Lyra told John over breakfast, "I'm pregnant." John froze. Naomi cheered. I sat down very slowly. "Good," I said. "I've waited long enough." The baby, a girl, arrived during a solar storm. Naturally, John cried. I held her and whispered, "Welcome to the chaos." 2 years later, a boy joined them. Naomi was the proudest big sister in the galaxy. I spoiled them all, relentlessly. I sit on my porch now, watching my grandchildren run through the yard. John laughs. Lyra smiles. Naomi leads. I planned a blind date. I got a dynasty. Worth it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like and subscribe for more.